Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Wednesday, September the 11th. We'll start at the top of the board. Seems as good a place to start as any. The NHL releasing the outline, the dates for this season, and just clarifying when things are going to take place. October 1st, I should say, we have the Board of Governors meeting. Usually not a lot comes out of that first Board of Governors meeting, but it might set the stage for what comes out later. October 4th and 5th, the Global Series officially opens the regular season. It's Buffalo and New Jersey playing against each other twice in Prague, Czechia. October 8th is officially the NHL's opening night. That's when the games on the North American side get started. October 22nd is a 16 game night. So, one of the reasons that I'm modifying the way that I review games this season is that 16 game night. It becomes absolutely impossible for me to be able to follow everything. I do my best, but this year I'm definitely modifying it to try to lower my stress level a little bit on those really busy nights. November 1st and 2nd, there's another global series, this time out of Finland. It's Dallas and Florida playing against each other twice back to back, which sadly means we will not see Dallas and Florida play against each other in North America this year unless it's in the Stanley Cup final. And it could be. Both of those teams considered favorites, at the very least near the top of the favorites list for their respective conference. December 9th and 10th, there's another Board of Governors meeting. That's usually where we'll hear something come out of note and have some idea for what may happen with the next Board of Governors meeting, which is later on during the playoffs, I believe. February 10th to 21st is the break for the Four Nations face-off. So, long break. Really long break from the NHL. I am intending to do a bit of a vacation myself during that break because there's only, I think, 7 games in that tournament in total over an 11 game or 11 day schedule. So, at any rate, that's the plan for me. We'll see how everything turns out. March the 7th is the trade deadline, so only a couple of weeks after the NHL comes back, we get to the trade deadline. April 17th is the end of the regular season, and April 19th the playoffs start. So there's only one day between the end of the regular season and start of the playoffs, which I think is the same as this past season. And June 23rd is the last possible day for the Stanley Cup final. So again, the Stanley Cup could very well get awarded during the summer. So, and I know there's a lot of people, myself included, that would love to see the schedule get moved up by a few weeks. I don't think there's any desire for that to take place on the NHL's part, and as long as that's the case, it's not going to happen. Even if they only moved it up by, say, 10 days, and so June 13th would be the last possible day for a final, I think that would be better, but again, that's just one man's opinion. So, getting into news from today, Max Pacioretty has officially signed a tryout with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The expectation is it will become a contract. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to need to move some pieces around in order to make everything work. But Pacioretty signs a tryout. Nobody's expecting him to score 20, 25 goals or anything like that. He'll be playing bottom 6 minutes in Toronto, would be my guess. Nathan MacKinnon, after playing with Mitch Marner, so this summer he's been skating around with Marner and working out with him and defending Marner pretty well. Keep in mind, Marner's a free agent next summer. Maybe Nathan MacKinnon's laying the groundwork for him to be added to the Avs next summer, right? So he says that he gets a lot of flack in Toronto, which he does, and says, but he's honestly one of the best players in the league. He also talked about how it is more difficult to win when you have more pressure. And basically stating that the pressure in Toronto being as high as it is, that could negatively impact the team. And I know people, will him and haw and back and forth on it. But I do think that's part of the reason why some Canadian teams have struggled in big games. And Toronto, of course, being the most public example of that over the last, how long? It feels like this has been a talking point for a long time around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Going to Montreal here, Nick Suzuki pleasantly surprised by Patrick Laine's passing ability. And yeah, Laine with the goal scoring not being where it was the first few years of his career, definitely his passing has been much better than it was earlier in his career. I think partly out of necessity. In the event that Laine, Suzuki, and you have to think Caulfield would be that top line if they have some chemistry there. Laine absolutely could end up in that point per game range. I could see that happening because Suzuki should be around point per game. Caulfield should be around that as well. And so that would pull Laine up just by being on that line. But if he's playing well And if his passing complements Suzuki's, that could be a dangerous first line. Kyler Yamamoto signs a tryout with the Utah Hockey Club. It is interesting that Yamamoto goes this late into the summer, as we're now almost into the fall, without a contract, but I think he can win a contract with Utah. They have tons of cap space, so you'd have to think that signing a tryout means you're not going to demand more than probably $775,000, which is league minimum. Maybe $800,000, but not much more than that. Sam Gagner is apparently headed to Carolina on a tryout. That's Puckpedia reporting that. They've been pretty accurate on what they've reported so far this summer. So Sam Gagner, veteran forward, can play fourth line minutes, would be a solid addition for Carolina. Bellemare headed to the Colorado Avalanche on a tryout. Of course, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, being a former member of the Colorado Avalanche, if you're an Avs fan, you know what you're getting. He's a fourth liner. I believe he's 36 at this point in time, so we'll see whether or not he wins the job with the Colorado Avalanche or what happens there, but he's making the effort, so all the best to him on that. And Lev Shinov, the number 2 pick overall by the Chicago Blackhawks this past June, won't be playing in the rookie tournament this weekend. He took a shot off of his foot, but it's not expected to be like a major injury. He's not supposed to be out that long. Just won't be playing this weekend. So we'll see if he gets into some preseason action for the Chicago Blackhawks, but he won't be playing in the rookie tournament. So at any rate, there you go. Let me know your thoughts. A lot of players rolling into town today for training camp. And of course, as mentioned, the rookie camps getting underway and all of that fun stuff too. And then within about a week, we'll have some preseason games going. I'll be standing in front of this board reviewing preseason games as they get rolling. So look forward to that. Also wanted to throw in here too. I had talked to people that were at the last meetup that I was, considering a meetup for this coming weekend. There won't be a meetup this weekend. I'm considering one for the following weekend, but it's going to depend on the weather, and it definitely looks like we're headed towards a fall weather forecast, which would mean rain, and then there's some rain, and then there's some more rain after that. And then if you look just over the horizon, there's a little bit more rain behind that. So it is the wet coast after all. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.